Our movie begins during the same time as World War II, with a boy named Angus. A boy who loves the sea but is afraid to go near it, and he always imagines that if he goes into the water, he'll drown, and no one will be able to save him. He also loves collecting seashells, just like he used to do with his father in the past. He finds a big rock that's surprisingly light, so he decides to keep it. And then his mother, Anna, comes to take him back home. He goes to the house's storage room to put away the seashells and the big rock. He starts examining the rock and notices that it's peeling and has a strange color. There's a sticky substance oozing out of it, kind of like an egg, until his mother calls for him, so he leaves it. And then the rock moves slightly. And night comes, and the wind is so strong that it opens the door of the storeroom and brings down the dirtiest part of the storeroom. But he finds that the egg has fallen to the ground and is broken, and he starts to sense movement around him. Things start falling, and he keeps following the sounds and the things breaking until he finds a small, strange creature hiding from him. Angus tries to reach his hand out to it, but the creature, out of fear, tries to bite him. So Angus runs to the kitchen and grabs a knife and some potatoes to put them out for the creature, hoping it might eat them. The creature starts eating them and allows him to touch it without biting. But Angus notices that the creature is wounded on its back, so he runs to get the first aid kit to treat it. He leaves the creature in the storage room and goes back to his room so his mother doesn't notice that he spent too long in the storage room. The next day comes, and they wake up to the sound of a military battalion at their doorstep, with Captain Thomas knocking on their door. He tells them that the battalion will be stationed in their garden by order of the command center for a certain period of time. Only the officers will be staying inside the house. Angus goes to his father's library, takes a dictionary, and heads to the storage room to check on the creature. He finds it chewing on his father's shoe and realizes it's hungry. So he goes to the kitchen, grabs the basket with leftover food, and gives it to the creature to eat. He decides to name the creature Crusoe, after the author of his father's favorite book. Angus opens the dictionary to find out what kind of creature Crusoe is, but he can't identify any specific type. After Crusoe finishes eating, Angus tries to touch his skin but finds it very dry and in need of water. He pours water over Crusoe in the basket and sees that Crusoe becomes happy and enjoys the splash of water. Angus starts taking care of Crusoe and plays with him. One day, his mother looks for him because she wants to tell him something about his father. She meets Lewis, the new housekeeper, and asks him to start cleaning the storage room because she suspects her son is keeping an animal there. And keeping animals in the house is supposed to be forbidden. Lewis starts cleaning the storage room, and Angus sees him pouring out the water that Crusoe was in, but Crusoe isn't in the water. Angus asks him what he's doing in his father's storage room, and Lewis tells him he's cleaning it on his mother's orders. Angus goes out searching for Crusoe everywhere until nightfall. Crusoe has grown bigger and is inside Angus's house with the cook's dog, Trunk, chasing after him. But the dog is tied to the stove, and as he pulls hard on the leash while chasing Crusoe, he ends up wrecking the kitchen. So Strank is forced to lock the dog inside the storage room so he doesn't break anything else, until Angus hears his sister screaming as she runs out of the bathroom, and he realizes that Crusoe is upstairs. He catches up to his sister before she can tell anyone, explains everything to her, and shows her that Crusoe isn't dangerous. But he's surprised at how quickly Crusoe has grown. His sister Kirsty promises him that she won't tell anyone, and then she leaves. The next day, Anna comes by to give Lewis her husband's old clothes, and Lewis thanks her, saying he'll thank her husband when he returns. But Anna tells him that her husband won't be coming back because he drowned with his ship a year ago, and that her son still doesn't know about his father's death. She tells him that the bathroom needs fixing, so he goes to repair it. Angus and Kirsty are inside the bathroom, trying to stop Lewis from coming in, but they can't prevent him. When he enters, he sees Crusoe. After things calm down, he tells them that Crusoe looks like a seahorse, and that it's a rare mythical creature that very few people have ever seen in real life. And the legends say that it is both male and female at the same time, and when it grows up, it lays eggs only once, and then it dies. They all stay in the bathroom for a long time until Anna starts looking for them. They beg Lewis to keep it a secret from their mom too, and he agrees. They tell their mom that they're helping Lewis fix the bathroom pipes, and they manage to hide Crusoe so they don't get caught in front of their mom. And while the army is having a feast at the house, Angus comes out of the bathroom and forgets to close the door behind him. So Crusoe gets out of the bathroom, and the dog starts chasing him, running loose in the house. The dog starts breaking everything around him to get to Crusoe, and he goes down to the ground floor next to the dining room where the battalion officers are gathered, until the dog bursts in on them. Crusoe runs under the dining table, and the dog jumps over the table, ruining the feast. Crusoe escapes out of the house, gets away from the dog, and jumps into the fountain that's full of fish. He keeps eating them until sunrise, and Louis finds that Crusoe has grown even bigger than the last time. They have no choice but to put him in a car and take him to the nearest lake to set him free, because hiding him in the house has become impossible. After Angus returns home, he finds out that his mother has asked Captain Thomas to have him train with the army and the battalion to keep him occupied with something. Angus stays busy with the training and isn't able to go see Crusoe, who keeps waiting for him. Eventually, Angus manages to escape from Thomas and heads to the lake where Crusoe is. He waits for him, but Crusoe doesn't show up until Angus takes the boat out to the middle of the lake and finds Crusoe behind him. Crusoe is now very big and massive from all the food he's eaten in the lake. Crusoe wants to play with him just like before. Angus rides on his back and walks with him in the water. Angus is terrified because he's afraid of the water, but he gradually gets used to it and starts enjoying himself while sitting on Crusoe's back, until he notices that the lake is blocked off by a large net set up by the army. After they finish playing, Crusoe takes Angus back to the shore, and before Crusoe dives underwater, Angus keeps an eye on him while he's in the water. Angus goes back home and excitedly tells Lewis and Kirsty what happened, absolutely overjoyed. The next day, Captain Thomas takes all of them to show them the army's work on the hill and the battalion's plan to attack the Germans if they approach the area by the sea, and he demonstrates the power of the cannons. They conduct a live test, firing rockets at the lake where Crusoe is. Angus goes crazy when he finds out they're going to fire at the lake, and he tries to stop them but fails, and the rockets are launched. Because Angus got too close to the rockets and was almost hurt, his mother punishes him and grounds him at home. One of the townspeople is convinced he once saw Crusoe, so he keeps watching the lake with a photographer, ready to take a picture as soon as Crusoe appears. But he fails to photograph him, so he resorts to faking the picture because he's chasing fame. The photo is published in the newspapers, and Strunk sees it and confirms to his colleague Walker that he saw the real him. Walker decides that they should hunt it down so he can become famous as the monster's slayer. At the same time, Angus sneaks out of the house to check on Crusoe after the beating he took, and Lewis goes with him. They make their way to the lake shore. Angus keeps calling out to him until Crusoe finally appears, and Crusoe tries to attack them, but Lewis manages to save him. Lewis explains to him that after what happened, Crusoe has become a wild animal and attacks anyone because he thinks people will hurt him. Angus remains upset that he's lost his friend and heads back home, but then he hears Struan's dog barking and realizes that someone is looking for Crusoe to hunt him down. Indeed, Walker and Struan are searching for Crusoe until they are attacked by him. They report to the station that they are under attack at the lake and request that all the missiles be fired there to save them. But the boat they're on capsizes near the shore, and Crusoe is about to eat Struan after Walker makes it to the shore and runs away in fear. But Angus tries to stop him from killing Struan and stays in the water until he starts to drown. Crusoe throws him aside and goes down to save Angus from drowning, and Lewis manages to revive him. Then Thomas and Anna arrive and see the seahorse in front of them, and Anna is finally convinced that her son wasn't lying or imagining things. But suddenly, missiles are fired at the lake based on the report from the boat before it capsized. Angus tries to get Crusoe to escape away from the missiles, and he rides on him to guide him to the path that will lead him out of the lake and away from the strike zone. And because the weather is stormy with heavy rain, Thomas isn't able to cancel the orders via the radio. The surveillance soldiers report that they see something resembling a submarine periscope. They think it's a German submarine coming to attack them, but in reality, it's actually Crusoe's head. The firing on Crusoe and Angus continues. They raise the net even higher to prevent the submarine, which is actually Crusoe, from crossing it. Thomas and Anna are on a boat behind Angus to rescue him if he drowns. Angus decides to leave Crusoe so he can hide underwater, away from the gunfire. He goes to his mother on the boat, but Crusoe dives underwater and manages to jump over the net, landing on it so hard that it gets torn off the tower it was attached to. Crusoe escapes to the sea and is finally free. Angus sees him for the last time as he rises in the water at sunrise, as if saying goodbye to his only friend. Don't forget to subscribe to the MoviesNectar channel and activate the bell to receive any new notifications, and like this video. Goodbye.